She's pregnant. That's why I need you to agree to a divorce.
She? You mean the woman you've been cheating on me with? Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I don't really like calling it cheating anymore. I mean, now it's serious. I love her, so I'd appreciate it if you stopped referring to it that way. And because of that, I'm asking you for a divorce.
Sure, I've already prepared the divorce papers. They're on the table in the living room.
What?
Also, I'm going to stay at my parents' house for the time being. We'll discuss custody and the division of assets another day. Isabel, who's only 5 and cries when I'm not around, is coming with me.
Oh,
I'll be contacting a lawyer soon. In the meantime, I'd appreciate your patience while I work things out. Goodbye.
Oh, wait, hold on! You're cold, Luna. Completely heartless. I always knew you were like that, but I didn't think you'd be this bad. I'm honestly disappointed in you.
Oh, really? You're the one who's a married man with 3 kids, yet you fell for someone 25 years younger than you, went behind my back, and now you've even gotten her pregnant. And you think I'm the disappointing one? The audacity. I didn't think someone as pathetic as you would have the nerve to feel disappointed in me.
What? I'm not pathetic? Don't call me that. Look, I did what I had to do. A child's involved now. As a man, I'm taking responsibility for my actions. That's the right thing to do.
So you think just because you're taking responsibility, you're not a disappointment? Well, don't forget this. You already have 3 kids. You have had those responsibilities as their father long before this mess. Try not to conveniently overlook that fact, will you?
Well?
If you want to think of yourself as some honorable man for stepping up now, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. But just know this, no matter how you choose to see yourself, you better not forget the responsibilities you have as a father to all your children. You owe them that much.
Hey, Luna, what the hell are you playing at? Why did you only take Isabel with you to your parents' place? What's the meaning of this?
What do you mean, what's the meaning of this?
You know what I mean. You didn't just have Isabel, you also have Brett and Seth, our 2 sons. Why didn't you take them with you too?
That's simple. Isabel is my child.
What? Then what about Brett and Seth? Why wouldn't you take them too? You're over here lecturing me about being a father and taking responsibility, but you're not doing your part as their mother.
I'm not their mother. Brett and Seth aren't my kids.
What are you talking about?
Those 2 boys are from your previous marriage with Kathy. You divorced her 10 years ago, remember? And I never adopted them, legally or otherwise. Given that we're getting a divorce, it's obvious that the only child I have any responsibility for is Isabel, who I gave birth to.
But...
Besides, Brett and Seth have made it clear they don't see me as their mother. In fact, they outright dislike me. They've never treated me with even a shred of respect or warmth these past 6 years. They couldn't care less about me and have always been distant. Let's not pretend otherwise.
They're teenagers! They're just going through a rebellious phase. What do you expect?
Sure, I considered that possibility for a while. I even gave it time. But 6 years and nothing has changed. It's been long enough. Honestly, I've reached my limit. And more importantly, they're 16 and 15 now. They're old enough to make their own choices, and they've made it clear they don't want to come with me. They said as much.
Wait, when did they tell you that?
In the last few days, while you were busy staying over at your mistress's place, I told them I was leaving and asked them to decide if they wanted to come with me. Their answer was a firm no. It wasn't surprising, honestly. I know how they felt, but I wanted to give them the option anyway.
Damn it! If only I'd come home yesterday, maybe I could have done something.
It doesn't matter. If you're worried about custody, talk to their biological mother, Kathy. She's the one who gave birth to them.
Kathy? She's broke! Even if she wanted custody, she couldn't support them. Her life's a mess!
And that's your problem, not mine.
Come on, Luna, I'm begging you. Take Brett and Seth with you. I can't have them around while I'm trying to start a new life with my new wife. It'll ruin everything.
You are unbelievable. You have the gall to ask for a favor after all this? You want me to make things easier for you while you're playing house with your new wife? Get real. Oh, and by the way, I'll be filing a claim for alimony soon.
Alimony?
What, did you think you could just cheat, ruin our marriage, and get away without paying a cent? That's not how this works. And don't forget, you'll also be paying child support for Isabel.
But I have a baby on the way. This isn't fair. I have expenses.
Well, I guess you'll just have to figure it out. That's what it means to take responsibility as a man and a father. No complaints, right?
Hey, Luna?
Oh, Brett. It's rare to get a message from you. And being called by my name. How many years has it been since that last happened?
Well...
You can stick with calling me you like before. Since the divorce with your father is finalized, I won't hold it against you, at least for now.
Yeah, okay.
So what's the matter?
It's just, I need some advice, or maybe more like, I don't even know what to do in a situation like this. Out of all the adults I know, you're the only one who might give me a straight answer.
What happened?
It's Dad. He's telling Seth and me to leave.
Excuse me?
He says having us around makes it hard for him to bring her, his girlfriend, the woman he cheated with, into the house. He told us to quit school, find jobs, and live on our own. He even suggested that if we didn't like that idea, we should beg you to take us in and live with you instead.
Unbelievable. He hasn't changed one bit. Still as irresponsible as ever.
Yeah, well, Seth and we talked about it, and honestly, neither of us feels comfortable relying on you for help. We know you've taken care of us for the last 6 years as a stand-in mom, and we do appreciate it. But our real mom is the one who gave birth to us. That hasn't changed.
That's completely fine. Back when Isabel and I left the house, you both were very honest about how you felt. I know it wasn't easy for you to say all that to me, and though it doesn't erase the past, I've come to terms with it.
Thanks. Anyway, Seth and I talked it over, and we were thinking about reaching out to our real mom.
Your real mom?
Yeah, it's a long shot, but we haven't seen her in 6 years. Back then, we didn't even have our own phones, so we don't know how to contact her now.
6 years ago. That's when your dad and I got married, right?
Yeah, and when I asked Dad about it, he refused to give me her contact info.
He probably can't. I only found out about this after Isabel was born, but did you know that your dad was at fault in the divorce with your mom 10 years ago?
Yeah. I heard from relatives that it was because of Dad's cheating. But since Mom was dealing with health problems and didn't have much financial stability, she couldn't get custody of us.
That's right.
I also remember hearing you went to the same university as her.
That's true, though she graduated before I enrolled, so we never actually met.
If there's any chance you know how to reach her, could you let me know? If we could just get in touch with her, Seth and I'll handle the rest ourselves.
All right, give me a little time, okay? I have to contact a few people to see if there's a way to reach her. And, Brett, you know how things are nowadays. Sharing someone's personal information without their consent is not allowed. Even if it's your mom, I'll need her permission before I pass anything along.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Once I've figured something out, I'll let you know by Saturday morning, regardless of the outcome.
Got it.
Brett, I got in touch with your mom.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, I reached out to one of our university professors who happened to have her contact information. Your mom called me back, and she has a message for you and Seth.
What is it?
She's willing to meet you both tomorrow. She'll be waiting near the ticket gates at F Station at 1 p.m.
She's really going to see us?
It seems so. It's been 6 years after all. She told me she wants to talk in person before deciding whether to share her contact info and update you on her life. As for how to recognize her, she said she'll be wearing a light blue scarf.
Got it!
Good. The rest is up to you. Take care of things from here.
Luna! Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Luna!
Yes? What is this about?
What did you say to Brett and Seth?
What do you mean?
They finally moved out recently, and I thought I'd finally get to enjoy my new married life with her. But now their mother has filed for a change in custody. I reached out to Brett, and he said he and Seth have decided to live with their mom.
Oh, is that so? And now you're, what, angry? panicking? Whatever your emotions are, why are you coming to me with complaints?
You knew they were planning to go live with her, didn't you?
Well, I might have heard something along those lines in passing. But from what I understand, the boys thought long and hard about their future and they decided to turn to their biological mother. She accepted them, which is good for everyone, right? Meanwhile, you got exactly what you wanted, a house with just the people you choose to live under one roof with. What's the problem?
It's the child support. I'm already paying for Isabel, and now I'll have to pay for Brett and Seth, too. Even if it's only for a few more years, this doubles my financial burden. That's why I told them to quit high school and get jobs to support themselves.
You are unbelievable.
What?
Brett and Seth made the right choice. Living with their mom will be far better for them.
Wait a minute.
As for Isabel, the child I gave birth to, I'll raise her properly and ensure she grows up happy and healthy.
But about the child support, isn't there a way to reduce the amount? My parents are in a nursing home. I can't even turn to them for help.
And what happened to taking responsibility as a father?
Well, I mean...
You need to fulfill your minimum obligations as a father. That's your duty. Anyway, I think we're done here.
Wait, hold on!
Goodbye. The custody battle over Brett and Seth, which lasted several grueling months, ultimately ended with the court awarding custody to their biological mother. This decision was not just a victory for her, but also a long overdue shift in the boys' tumultuous lives. Several factors contributed to this outcome, but the most decisive ones were their father Bill's irresponsible behavior and the remarkable progress their mother had made in her life since her initial struggles years ago. When the court reviewed Bill's history, his glaring flaws as a parent came to light. His cavalier attitude towards raising his sons became a central focus during the proceedings. Among the most shocking revelations were his past statements about Brett and Seth needing to drop out of school and support themselves financially so that he could focus on his new relationship. These remarks painted a picture of a man more concerned with his convenience than with the welfare of his children. The court could not overlook the emotional neglect and lack of support the boys had endured under his care. Furthermore, Bill's behavior during the trial only reinforced his poor character. His dismissive comments, failure to take responsibility, and attempts to shift blame all worked against him, solidifying the perception that he was unfit to be a primary caregiver. In stark contrast, their mother presented herself as a symbol of resilience and growth. When she lost custody years ago, it was due to her struggles with health issues and financial instability. She had faced significant challenges at the time of her divorce, leaving her unable to provide the stable environment the boys needed. However, she had worked tirelessly since to turn her life around. By the time of the custody hearing, she was in excellent health and had achieved financial independence. Her stable job and comfortable home demonstrated her ability to provide a nurturing and secure environment for Brett and Seth. More importantly, she expressed genuine love and concern for her sons, qualities that had been missing from their lives for far too long. The boys' voices were also pivotal in the court's decision. As teenagers, Brett and Seth were old enough to articulate their preferences, and their testimony carried significant weight. Both expressed a strong desire to live with their mother, emphasizing the emotional warmth and care she had shown them during their limited interactions over the years. They described their dissatisfaction with Bill's parenting, highlighting his lack of involvement in their lives and his prioritization of his personal relationships over their needs. With these factors in mind, the court ruled in favor of their biological mother. The verdict marked a turning point for Brett and Seth, offering them a chance to start anew in a supportive and loving environment. However, the decision also had far-reaching consequences for Bill, who found himself facing significant financial and emotional challenges as a result. Following the ruling, Bill was ordered to pay over $1,000 a month in child support for Brett and Seth. This was in addition to the child support he was already paying for Isabel, his daughter with Luna. The financial burden was immense, particularly for someone who had recently remarried and was trying to maintain a household with his new partner. Initially, Bill tried to downplay the severity of the situation, convincing himself that he could manage the additional expenses. However, the reality of his financial predicament soon became impossible to ignore. The stress of the child support payments quickly took a toll on his new marriage. His new wife, the woman with whom he had cheated on Luna, was far less understanding than he had hoped. As the financial strain mounted, the couple began to argue frequently. The romantic ideal they had envisioned for their life together gave way to a harsh reality filled with resentment and frustration. She had not signed up for a life with constant financial struggle, and her patience wore thin. The situation reached a breaking point when she decided she could no longer tolerate the hardships of their marriage. Less than a year after tying the knot, she filed for divorce, taking full custody of their child. Her decision to leave was driven not only by the financial strain, but also by the social stigma attached to their relationship. The neighbors, who had once gossiped about their affair, now openly judged them for the mess they had made of their lives. Adding to Bill's woes, he was now required to pay child support for another child. With 4 children from 2 marriages to support, his financial obligations became almost insurmountable. To make ends meet, he was forced to take on multiple jobs, working long hours during the day and even picking up shifts on weekends and evenings. Bill's life became a relentless cycle of work and exhaustion. The once proud man who had flaunted his new relationship now appeared defeated and broken. He had alienated his family, lost the trust of his sons, and found himself abandoned by the women for whom he had sacrificed everything. Meanwhile, Brett and Seth were thriving in their new environment. Living with their mother allowed them to experience the stability and love they had been missing for so long. She provided not only a stable home, but also emotional support, helping them heal from the neglect they had endured under Bill's care. Luna, who had once stepped in as a mother figure for Brett and Seth, watched their progress from afar. Though her role in their lives had diminished since her divorce from Bill, she was relieved to see them in a better place. Her focus remained on Isabel, whom she was determined to raise in a stable and loving home. Occasionally, Luna would hear about Bill through mutual acquaintances. The updates were always the same. He was struggling to make ends meet, overworked, and increasingly isolated. His fall from grace was a topic of discussion in the company, with many viewing his plight as a fitting consequence of his past actions. The neighbors, who had once turned a blind eye to his infidelity, now openly criticized him. They regarded him as a cautionary tale, a reminder of what happens when selfishness and poor decisions take precedence over responsibility and integrity. Bill's attempts to maintain his dignity were met with little sympathy, as his circumstances spoke louder than his words ever could. Despite his efforts to meet his financial obligations, Bill found himself sinking deeper into despair. The weight of his choices pressured down on him, leaving him with little hope for the future. Each day felt like a struggle to survive, and the loneliness that accompanied his circumstances only made matters worse. Brett and Seth, on the other hand, were finally able to focus on their education and personal growth. With their mother's guidance, they began to excel in ways they never had before. The contrast between their current life and the one they had left behind was stark. They no longer felt like burdens or afterthoughts. Instead, they were treated as cherished members of a loving family. For Luna, the entire ordeal served as a reminder of the importance of self-respect and resilience. While she had moved on from her marriage to Bill, the lessons she had learned during that time continued to shape her approach to life and motherhood. She remained committed to providing Isabel with the best possible future, determined to break the cycle of dysfunction that had plagued her former family. As for Bill, his story became a lasting example of the consequences of selfishness and betrayal. His once promising life had unraveled before everyone's eyes, leaving him with nothing but regret and the remnants of his broken relationships. Whether he would ever find redemption was uncertain, but for now, he was left to confront the harsh reality of his choices alone. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.